The National Fire Protection Association 7T, specifically Section 400.83, addresses the accessibility of receptacle outlets. This section states that receptacle outlets required by this section shall be accessible. There are exceptions. Firstly, receptacle outlets shall be permitted to be installed in a floor where the obstruction or obstructions of the floor space impede the installation of accessible receptacle outlets in accordance with other applicable provisions of this code. Secondly, receptacle outlets shall be permitted to be recessed into the kitchen countertop if the receptacle assembly is listed for this purpose and is accessible without exposing the conductors or terminals of the receptacle. Concerning the question of installing receptacle outlets behind doors on a kitchen island, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires counter receptacle outlets to be accessible. The installation of receptacles behind doors, even with notches cut out for cords, could impede access and potentially violate the accessible requirement of Section 400.83. While the NEC does not explicitly prohibit receptacles behind doors, the International Code Council's commentary on the International Residential Code, or IRC, states that receptacle outlets should not be installed behind doors or appliances that require a latch or lock to open. This is to ensure that the receptacles remain accessible for use and maintenance. Therefore, based on the NEC and industry standards, it is generally not recommended to install receptacle outlets behind doors on kitchen islands. While a home improvement show may have presented this as a solution, it is important to prioritize code compliance and accessibility for electrical installations. Accessibility is key. Consider the ease with which one can reach and utilize the receptacle. A door, even with a notch, introduces a barrier. The intent of the code is to provide readily available power access. The exception for recessed receptacles and countertops is specific. The assembly must be listed for that purpose and designed for accessibility without exposing conductors. This implies a level of engineering and safety certification not necessarily present when simply placing a standard receptacle behind a door. Think about the practical implications. Imagine needing to quickly unplug an appliance in an emergency. A door, however small, adds a step and potentially slows down the process. This is especially relevant in a kitchen environment where spills and other hazards are common. The IRC commentary further reinforces the idea of unobstructed access. It specifically mentions doors and appliances with latches or locks as examples of impediments. This suggests a broad interpretation of accessibility, encompassing not just physical reach but also ease of operation. Moreover, consider the potential for misuse. A receptacle behind a door might be more likely to be overloaded or used with damaged cords, as the user might be less inclined to inspect it regularly. This could increase the risk of electrical fires or other hazards. The NEC is designed to minimize these risks by ensuring that electrical installations are safe and accessible. While aesthetics are important in kitchen design, they should not come at the expense of safety and code compliance. There are alternative solutions for concealing receptacles that do not compromise accessibility. For example, pop-up receptacles or those integrated into the backsplash can provide a clean look without violating the code. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to install receptacles behind doors on a kitchen island rests with the local electrical inspector. However, based on the NEC, industry standards, and common sense, it is generally not a good idea. It is always best to err on the side of safety and code compliance when it comes to electrical installations. Furthermore, always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical work is done properly and safely. They can provide expert advice on code compliance and help you find solutions that meet your needs and budget. Remember, electricity is a powerful force that should be treated with respect. By following the NEC and industry standards, you can help to protect yourself, your family, and your property from electrical hazards. The NEC aims to prevent electrical hazards like fires and shocks, and this is achieved through very specific guidelines. Receptacle placement is a key element to consider. Think about why the code mandates accessible receptacles in kitchens. It's about providing convenient and safe power sources for appliances. Hiding them behind doors works against that intent. The exception for floor receptacles exists because in some situations, particularly open-plan designs, it's the only way to provide the required outlets without creating trip hazards or visual clutter. However, even those floor receptacles must be readily accessible. They can't be under furniture or rugs. Similarly, the countertop exception is for specialized, listed assemblies that are designed for safe and easy access. These assemblies typically have spring-loaded covers or other mechanisms that allow you to plug in an appliance without exposing the wiring. They are also designed to prevent water or debris from entering the receptacle. So, the question of kitchen island receptacles behind doors boils down to this: does it truly provide easy and safe access for plugging in appliances? If there's any impediment, such as needing to open a door however small, it's likely not compliant. The intent is that you should be able to plug in an appliance without any extra steps or obstructions. Consider the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, as well. Although the NEC doesn't explicitly mention ADA compliance for residential kitchens, the principle of accessibility is the same. If someone with limited mobility would have difficulty accessing a receptacle behind a door, that's another indication that it's not an ideal solution. Beyond code compliance, think about the long-term practicalities. Kitchens are high-use areas, and receptacles are frequently used. A door that's constantly being opened and closed to access a receptacle is likely to wear out or break over time. This could create a safety hazard or simply be an annoyance. Also, consider the aesthetic aspect. While the goal may be to hide the receptacles, a door with a notch cut out for cords may not be the most visually appealing solution. There are often better ways to achieve a clean and modern look without compromising safety or accessibility. Explore options such as under-cabinet lighting with integrated receptacles or sleek, low-profile power strips that can be mounted discreetly. Remember, the goal is to create a kitchen that's both functional and beautiful. Code compliance doesn't have to mean sacrificing style. There are many innovative products and design solutions available that can help you achieve both. Consult with a qualified kitchen designer or electrician to explore your options and find the best solution for your space. They can help you navigate the code requirements and create a kitchen that's safe, accessible, and aesthetically pleasing. Furthermore, when choosing receptacles for your kitchen, consider features such as tamper resistance, or TR, and ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI protection. TR receptacles have internal shutters that prevent children from inserting objects into the slots, while GFCI receptacles can protect against electrical shock by quickly cutting off power in the event of a ground fault. These features can add an extra layer of safety to your kitchen. In summary, while hiding receptacles behind doors on a kitchen island may seem like a clever way to achieve a clean look, it's generally not recommended due to code compliance and accessibility concerns. There are alternative solutions available that can provide both safety and style. Always prioritize code compliance and consult with qualified professionals to ensure that your electrical work is done properly and safely. The key takeaway is understanding the intent behind the NEC regulations. These rules are there to ensure safety and accessibility, and they should be carefully considered when designing any electrical installation. Don't let aesthetics compromise safety. Explore other options for concealing receptacles while maintaining code compliance. A good electrician can help you find solutions that meet your needs and adhere to all applicable regulations. Remember that electrical codes are constantly evolving. Stay up to date with the latest requirements and consult with local authorities to ensure that your installations are compliant. This proactive approach will help you avoid potential problems and ensure the safety of your home. Also, keep in mind the importance of proper wiring and grounding. Faulty wiring can lead to electrical fires or shocks, so it's essential to use high-quality materials and follow best practices. Grounding provides a path for stray current to flow back to the source, reducing the risk of electrical shock. Proper grounding is especially important in kitchens and bathrooms, where water is present. Finally, always remember to turn off the power before working on any electrical circuits. This simple step can prevent serious injuries or even death. Use a voltage tester to confirm that the circuit is de-energized before touching any wires. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified professionals who have the training and experience to do it safely. By following these guidelines, you can help to create a safe and functional kitchen that meets your needs and complies with all applicable regulations. Remember, safety should always be your top priority. The code is there to protect you and your family. Ignoring or circumventing the code can have serious consequences. So take the time to understand the requirements and ensure that your electrical installations are done properly. The information provided is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or other expert before making any decisions about your electrical installations.